Hello and welcome. It's the Deb Bec TV show, and here we are, Bec and Deb, ready and raring to go.
Always. When are we not?
Very excited about today's show because it's a topic close to our hearts.
Absolutely.
So we're going to be talking about kindness in today's show. But as always, before we dive in, we like to let you know what's going on, what's coming up. We would hate for you to miss that.
What's coming up?
I'll tell you what's coming up. Tomorrow is somebody's birthday. Now, in our family, the females never get older than 21.
No.
So it's Deb's 21st birthday tomorrow.
Absolutely.
So a very happy pre-birthday to Deb today. And as a way of celebrating that, we are offering some 45-minute one-to-one sessions with us.
Not tomorrow, because I'll be waiting.
Not
busy
tomorrow. And probably not Friday, because she might have to recover.
Probably not Monday.
But we're offering some very special one-to-ones, 45 minutes for just £35. The full price would be £55 normally, but as a celebration for Deb's birthday and because of how much we love talking to people, it would be a true gift to Deb as well. So if you would like to get hold of one of those, we're only offering 5. So it's first come, first serve. So comment below this, or if you're following us on Facebook or wherever we are, we're very, very easy to find. So get in touch and we will absolutely arrange to book that in with you as a little birthday gift to Deb and to you for being part of our community.
And you can literally bring anything to those calls that you want.
Any session that you want at all.
Absolutely. So the other thing that is really going on for us at the moment is our Warriors Journey. And the Warriors Journey, we first did it in 2015, and that was Bec's big ping moment. That was when she had all her huge insights around self-love and getting to know herself. And look at her now. There's nothing. You can't stop her. So right now we revamped the Warriors Journey, and we're actually doing it again, having an absolute ball, aren't we? We're only 10 days from
we're
the
not
end.
far off finishing.
No.
We've been on it for nearly 3 months
yeah
now,
we have, and it's
blown us both away again, hasn't it?
There's some amazing stuff in there, and it's on our website as a self-study program, so you can buy that and do the 90 days, and also in there as well is a chance to have a one-to-one with us.
Comes with a one-to-one with us, so
lots of opportunity indeed. So we will put the link to that below this video, so if you're interested in joining the Warriors Journey, or if you're interested in just having a one-to-one with us, there's some things for you to do this week.
Absolutely. And actually the Warriors Journey leads us very, very nicely into this week's topic.
Absolutely.
Doesn't it?
Really, really does, because that's when the whole kindness thing exploded for us.
It was so our topic this week is kindness, and it fits very beautifully for us this week as well, because we've just put out the Dare to Be You Advent Calendar, the first one we've ever done, a virtual Advent calendar all about kindness. And in fact,
Season of Goodwill,
as it's only the 2nd of December, you could very quickly catch up. You could still get hold of that if you wanted to, and catch up and get yourself onto day 2. If you want to do that, that's on our website, daretobeYou.co.uk. And we put that Advent calendar together all around kindness, so it made sense for us to make that our topic this week as we started that Advent calendar, and already that's sparking some stuff. But it also fits so beautifully with the Warriors Journey from 2015, because that was what it was that absolutely exploded kind of that kindness and generosity for both of us, I think. And I know for me in 2015, kindness and the kind of term random act of kindness, which is quite a well-known.
That's when I first heard it.
Yeah, I'd heard of it quite a few times before then. Random acts of kindness. And I'd heard about this, and it felt like one of those things that was not connected to me or who I was. It was just something I'd heard about. And then during the Warriors Journey, one of the things that Deb suggested as part of that was that we did some random acts of kindness. And it really woke something up in me.
All of us.
Yeah, it definitely did in every one of us. But for me, on my personal journey, it really kind of invited me to look inside and see, where is that place that I can be kind from? Where does that exist within me? And in 2015, we had so much fun doing so many amazing, fun, wonderful, wacky, wild things, didn't we? We came up with so many ideas, and maybe as we have this conversation, some of them will kind of come out, some of what we got up to. But for me, it was all about seeing that place where it takes nothing away from me being kind and generous. And I think that's one of the things that I didn't used to know. That it looked like if I gave something to someone or did something for someone or helped someone in some way, that it somehow depleted me. It took something away from me. And very much what I love about kind of exploring this topic and talking about this topic is that that isn't how this works, that it's actually the other way around. In fact, the way that we are designed as human beings is it actually gifts us something when we are kind. Somehow the way that the system is designed is when we generously give from an open heart, we get something in return. And it might not be something from that person. It might not be the exact same gift in return. What we actually get is this incredible feeling of love and generosity and peace and goodness. And very much what we're here pointing to is following that good feeling, is getting to know that in you.
And what I had some realizations around kindness and generosity and giving in that way was when I was not in a great place and I was feeling desperate and wanting something, I would try and give something away or try and be kind from a really desperate place within myself, because I felt this need to have something, and I heard the words that if you give, something comes back to you. But I was giving from an empty tank and feeling really depleted already and trying to trick the system. And what we're pointing to here is that at our core, we are kindness, we are generosity, we are abundance, we are love, and we cannot help but give. And it just makes total sense to us to give. So if when you're hearing this, it's kind of hitting up in something in you and you're like, I haven't got anything to give, I can't, and feeling like that, I've been there, and I'm pretty sure I can speak for Bec and say she's felt like that too. So what we're pointing to is, first, if that's where you are, the first step here is to get to know yourself, to see who you truly are, to see that you are never depleted to such a place that you can't give, and you can always give from abundance. So the first step, I think, to true kindness and true giving in this way is learning about who you are, getting to know, what our business is called Dare to Be You. Who is that you in Dare to Be You? Who is it we are daring you to be? Because that you is generosity and kindness and love. So just playing around with that first as an act of kindness to yourself is a great place. And I know that was what the Warrior's Journey did for you. You suddenly had a realization that you could give. Like you were saying initially, it starts, and I know, as I said, I've been in that place too, and I would give things really in fear and really worried that something wouldn't come back to me and that it would just deplete me more. But what we are pointing to first, and what we would really love you to get interested in, is that you in Dare to Be You. Who are you? And beginning to see that you are an aspect of God. You are the creative essence of the universe. You are the allness of everything. And then we have this human thing that goes on for us. And it's not exactly this, because we can't put words on exactly what you are, which is why I used 2 or 3 different phrases to try and get somewhere close to describing it. We can't actually put words on it. It is something you have to feel into and experience for yourself, which is why we talk a lot about curiosity too, because it is look inside. Anything we point to, ask those questions of yourself. And definitely just getting, when we're talking about things like saying you are generosity, you are love, look inside and ask yourself those questions yourself. Get curious and see, because something will come to you around that will make sense to you.
Yeah, I was thinking back in like 2014, before I did the Warrior's Journey, and when I just kind of crashed and burned, very much what had happened for me and very much how I'd lived my life was giving and giving and giving and giving from a belief that was taking something from me,
yeah,
from a kind of experience of, as I give, I get less, and I you know, suffer, and I exhausted
like a pie
myself
with pieces that
yeah, that can run out. That's
yeah,
exactly how it was.
not giving from.
And I literally exhausted myself giving and attempting to be kind from a space of believing that that's how life worked. I genuinely at that time thought that as I gave, I shrank and I became smaller and less and exhausted and those kinds of things. So that was the experience that I had at the time. And absolutely what Deb kind of shared with me as I got into this conversation, and particularly the warrior's journey, was seeing that that isn't how life works. And very much that kindness thing that we're talking about starts with you. It starts with you getting to see everything Deb's just been talking about. Because as you begin to see that and you're kind to yourself in that way, by allowing yourself to understand this, by allowing yourself to see that you are the abundant essence of everything in the universe, then there's just this absolutely overflowing, inexhaustible love and kindness that you can share with the world. I was reading a post my friend put on Facebook the other day, and she was talking about kind of being kind and looking after yourself. And she kind of likened it to, you know, if she was on the road and her car was running low on petrol and the petrol gauge was kind of flashing at her, she's not going to drive past a petrol station in the hopes of getting to her destination quicker. She's not going to kind of overlook that need to fill up her fuel, because, you know, we know that our cars have to have fuel. We know that. It's like science. If the fuel runs out, the car's going to stop and we're going to go nowhere. And yet we're extremely good at overlooking that, you know, our own personal gauges that are saying stop and refill your fuel. So absolutely the first thing here is to know when you need your kindness first. Know when you need to refill your kindness tank, as it were. Get to know that about yourself. Get to recognize when your tank is running a bit low, and make sure you're coming back to knowing the truth about yourself, to knowing where that comes from, that inexhaustible energy of love and kindness. Know that it isn't just in our form. You know, if it was all on me, if it was only the form that you see as Bec and Deb on the screen, yeah, we'd probably be exhausted very quickly. But what we know here is there's more to us than just this human form. There's a formless energy of what we are, of who we are and how we work. And when we dip into that, and when we come from that space, that's when it becomes inexhaustible. That's when there's just this abundant love and kindness that can flow through us. So it's really about getting to know more and more of that. And you kind of can't help but be kind as you explore that.
It's because it is who we are. That's we do. It feels like an endless, inexhaustible circle of give, get, and everything. You're filling others are filling you, and it continues. But if what was coming to me when you were talking about the petrol station and going past the petrol station, what was coming to me was I misunderstood for a long time how to fill up my car, whatever. I didn't know how to do that. That was the bit that was missing for me for a long time. And somewhere inside, because we are generosity and love and kindness, we want to give. But exactly like Bec said, I lived my life for a long time trying to give from just this human form, from just me. It was all on me and I had to give. And when we are giving from a misunderstanding of that deeper truth of ourselves, we very quickly exhaust that. You know, our human form, it's amazing, and I love being human, but if we don't plug it into the greater source behind us, if we don't connect, if we get rid of the connection to that great, you know, the greater part of us, we very quickly exhaust what we have to give just in human form. And definitely for a long time I was trying to give just from Deb, and it was incredibly limited what I had to give. And somewhere inside I sort of knew that giving filled me up, but I didn't realize that it was this this energy, this flow, and this other place that I had to get into for that to work. So I just kept trying to give from Deb, and everything that was coming back to me was coming to this deeper place, but I had no way of accessing it. I didn't know how to fill up my car with petrol. And what this understanding, what learning in this way has taught me is that, and as I said before, this is all metaphors and it's not exactly this, but it's sort of, it feels like there is, you know, Deb, me, this human form, and then behind that, the thing that illuminates that, the thing that makes me be able to be human, this deeper part of me, universal energy, whatever you want to call it, what is behind that? It feels like I can, as Deb, ignore that, pretend it's not there, turn my back on it. It will always be there, and I will continue to be animated,
yeah.
whatever that word is. And amazingly, you know, we do as well as we do as human beings, in spite of the fact that we turn our back on that. I did incredibly well, considering I was totally and utterly pushing it away, turning my back on it, trying my best not to take any notice. It was still there. But it's a little bit like a tap, I suppose. If we try and block it, if you turn on a tap, put your hand underneath it, the water will still try, and it's really difficult to stop that flow. And we cannot stop that flow. But we can put our hand over the tap. We can try and make it all on us and struggle and suffer. And definitely the first part of knowing yourself is, how do I remove my hand from there and just allow that flow? And then we fall into this abundance of, like you say, we just give from a bottomless pit, an endless tap of flowing, a river, whatever makes sense to you. We can give from that, and we can receive from that. Because I can see one of the things that I really saw was how difficult, especially when we've come into this place of it's all on me to give, we find it incredibly difficult to take as well.
Yeah, and very much this whole, the kindness thing is, it's a circle, it's a round thing, it's a give and receive, give and receive. Something in us can get very stuck in not receiving, and it's just as kind to receive something.
Absolutely.
I was speaking to my mom yesterday, and she's been struggling a little bit recently, and Lucy and I were speaking to her, and I offered her something, and 3 times she tried to kind of refuse and say, no, I don't really need that. No, I shouldn't. It's very tempting, but, and in the end, I just kind of very gently said, if it's tempting, then that's your way of saying this is what you need. Take it. It's on offer. There's nothing that, you know, and it can be really hard to take sometimes, to receive that kindness to ourselves as well. But it's absolutely a part of this game is playing the flow.
Flow is definitely both. You can't give without receiving, and you can't receive without giving. It has to, which I guess is what happens when we get into that little human mode. We try to give without receiving, and we try to we can be on either end. We can very out of balance. Very out of balance. So it's And I remember actually having, I can't remember who it was, but I had a conversation with somebody. It was at a Mind, Body and Soul festival. And somebody said, you know, we were talking about kindness and random acts of kindness. And somebody then said that actually where this gets stuck a lot is people really, really struggle to receive. And I really saw that, how difficult people find it to take something. And when you think of kindness and random acts of kindness, how would they work if people weren't prepared to take what we are giving? But it is, we can be on both sides of that. We can become a victim and just take and not be in that flow, or we can be on the other end and just give without receiving. So it is, as always, who knew?
This will surprise you.
Yes, it will. There is a place of balance in this. There, you know, we have to be prepared to give and receive. We have to be prepared to be a part of that, because that's how it works. But that is the amazing beauty of this system that we've been born into, that it's actually Again, follow the feelings. We know when we are out of kilter somehow because we don't feel good. If you give something and it doesn't feel good, you need to look at that. You need to go inside and ask the question, you know, what's going on here? That did not feel nice. It didn't feel generous. It didn't feel like love. It felt like fear or whatever it was, or it felt like, oh, I'm better than someone else. But we can tell by our feelings what is going on. And we can fall into that flow just by using our feelings as a guide. Our feelings are just such a beautiful gift. I'm really, really, really seeing more and more deeply how much of a treasure trove my feelings are. And as I'm beginning to understand where they're pointing me, and they're telling me, you know, yeah, you've got out of this loop somehow. You've fallen into thinking it's all on you, or being a victim, or whatever it is. And our feelings always tell us. We can absolutely 100% trust them. It's just understanding what information are they giving us. How do we translate the information that they're giving us? Because I know that I can feel bad and think, oh, it's Bec's fault. I don't, but you know, it's an easy thing, isn't it, to kind of to have a bad feeling and think, oh yeah, that's to do with Bec, so Bec needs to change, or Bec. And it's understanding your feelings are pointing you to where you are. They are never giving me information about you or Bec or the world, anything. They're giving me information about where I am, how far I've moved away from this understanding of this deeper part of me, how much I've put my hand over that tap. And although it can be incredibly tempting and it can really look as if it is someone else, and it can really, I'm sure it sometimes looks as if it's me to you. Never. I knew it wouldn't.
It was, as you were kind of sharing there, I was reminded when you were talking about the how hard it can be to receive. One of the many things that we did back in 2015, which we got a real kick out of, was we decided to go to Asda, our local shop here in Devon. Well, actually I wasn't living here at the time, but we were visiting you, weren't we? And we went to the local Asda, brought a whole host of cakes and just stood outside of Asda giving them away to people passing by. And it was really fascinating how many people either refused to have one or were really suspicious about what they would have to do to receive, you know, what do you want from me? If I have a cake from you, what do you need from me?
You will have something on me for the rest of my life.
Yeah, like, is this a charity? Are you taking money? Do you want my address? You know, there was a real feel of, you're going to want something from me here, aren't you? And there was quite a few people, 3 or 4 times are like, genuinely, have the cake if you want it, nothing else required. And equally quite a few people that were like, oh yeah, thanks, and just took it and walked away. Just, there was such a range of people.
It sparked some amazing conversations, didn't it?
It really
and
did.
Interestingly, it also, when we were in the car on the way to Asda, the thing that really surprised all of us, I think, was how difficult it was to put ourselves in that vulnerable place of standing outside and handing something nice, cakes, to strangers. Because I've done that sort of thing when I've been, like, I've got 3 children, so I've done the whole brownies, the school, all of those things where we have stalls and you're trying to talk people into it, or you're doing something, and church stuff. But there's a reason behind that. It feels like, you know, I'm validated here. I can stand here and do this. But actually standing and just giving from your heart for no reason, not for anybody or for anything. On the other side, that was quite an interesting experience, wasn't it?
Yeah, very much so. It was really, from our point of view, a kind of, it went back to what we started with, that space of, oh, is this going to take something away from me?
Are people going to judge us about what we're doing?
Thinking about what we're doing. So it was a really interesting, you know, one to play around with. And I mean, there was a whole host of things we did that year that I don't think we've actually got time to tell everything about them. But if you're interested in being kind, if looking to do some acts of kindness is something you're interested in, get in touch, because, you know, we've got lots of ideas and lots of stuff we're doing. And I wanted to mention before we finish the show, we've just joined a very lovely friend of ours, Martin, has set up a Facebook group called A Year of Living Kindly.
Perhaps we can put the link to
we'll
the
definitely
Facebook group.
put the link below, because it's, if you're interested in this topic and even just being in the group, even if you don't share or necessarily come up with stuff that you do yourself, the group is all about inspiring and encouraging each other to look out for ideas to be kind. And it starts with a simple thing like smiling at somebody or holding a door open for someone. And there's just already in that group a real feel of ideas and ways to be kind to ourselves and each other. So it's a really beautiful group that we've just joined. And it's, I think it's, the idea is that it's through 2021, but it's taken such a, it's already taken a real leap, hasn't it? And
taken off like a rocket, hasn't it?
I guess December, for some reason, as a society, we have December down as that kind of season of goodwill. So people are already in that space of what nice things can I do? And there's lots and lots of ways to do that already going on in that group. And it's just, being in the group is an act of kindness. So if you're just interested in ways you can be kind without even spending a penny, there's so many ways we can be kind to ourselves and each other without it even costing us anything. So definitely go and have a look at that group. It's sparked something for us again, hasn't it, around the being kind.
It's really funny, isn't it, how every time the momentum sort of slows a bit, something else happens and gets us back into this flow of giving and loving and generosity and kindness, because it's who we are. It is our true nature. And I think after the year that we've all had, I think it's a brilliant way to end 2020, to just see how much love and kindness there is in the world. And nothing, it doesn't matter, there is nothing, no virus, nothing can take that from us. It's who we are at our core. And I feel that the more that we connect to that in ourselves, the more that's what we're going to create out in the world, instead of fear and worry and anxiety and all of those things. I think it's a really, really great thing to do. So
so it is very much kind of, kindness is, it's just one of those what you kind of call a win-win, isn't it? It's like, we feel good when we're kind, another person benefits when we're kind, and so it goes on. And somehow I've really seen, when I've been kind to someone, how that fills them up and they go off and they're kind to someone else. And it just becomes this ongoing game of, how much love and kindness can I spread in the world?
Absolutely.
How much can I do that? Where can that come from within me? And just like we started with and talked about a lot over the last half an hour, how we have an inexhaustible source of kindness within us if we get to know who we truly are and how we truly work.
Absolutely.
So next week on our show, Deb, what are we going to talk about?
Well, we actually put a post in our Facebook group this week, asking just a little funny jokey post asking, what would you choose, and giving like 4 examples or something. And every person, well, not every person, but an awful lot of people in our group have come and said they would choose a really good night's sleep because they struggle to sleep. So we thought next week on our YouTube show, we would talk about sleep, because for many, many years, I really, really struggled with sleep. And then through an insight around this understanding, that has really, really changed for me. So I thought it might be helpful to share something around that and point people in the direction of maybe trying to get a good night's sleep, or being okay with not having a good night's sleep or whatever.
It's a very popular topic, isn't it?
Definitely.
How much sleep we should have, and how the sleep patterns work, and
what's going on,
stops us from sleeping, and how do we make ourselves sleep. And there's a whole lot of stuff going on there, so we're going to dedicate the whole show to that next week. And here's to a good night's sleep for everyone.
Yeah, one more sleep and it's my birthday.
Yay! So yes, as we said at the beginning, grab your birthday celebration 1-to-1, drop us a message. We'd love to do that with you.
Yeah, have a great day.
Have a great evening, everyone.
Yeah, absolutely.
Take care.
Bye.